What's up, everybody? It's Randy Gardner with Craft Beer Nation coming back at you with another beer review. Tonight, I have the pleasure of, I think I've had this beer before, but I know I've never reviewed it. I'm going to be looking at a beer that I was able to get during Savor Weekend, which was like a week and a half ago. Oh, it was just called it 2 weeks ago. Freddie came down from Boston. We went to Savor, and he was not kind enough to send some beer ahead of him. So tonight, I'm bringing reviewing a beer from Trillium. This is their light washed Galaxy dry hopped Fort Point. This is actually a pale ale from Trillium. Comes in at 6.6%. Um, I don't know what hops are in it, but I do know that obviously that it's dry hopped with Galaxy hops. So I remember having it before. I remember thinking that it was awesome, but it's been a while since I've actually had the Galaxy dry hop version of this beer. So I'm looking forward to cracking this one open and telling you what it smell like, what it tastes like, and what it rate like. So without further ado, let's get the party going. And also, I want to shout out to Aslan Beer Company here in Herndon, Virginia. We had the opportunity to interview those guys before Savor, so that review or that interview is going to be released here pretty soon. Really, really cool bunch of guys. Treated us like we were a family, and it was an absolutely wonderful experience getting to hang with those guys and getting to know them a little better and find out more about their brewery, how they got started, where they're going. So look for that interview to come out maybe within the next week or so, and some good information from a great up and coming brewery. So without further ado, let's pour this Galaxy Dry Hop Fort Point into a glass, so I can once again, like I said, tell you what it smell like, what it tastes like, and what it rate like. I'm not keeping it proper here. I mean, I'm having well, it's a hazy IPA. I'm pouring it into a glass from a brewery that makes hazy IPAs as well. This is from the Vale down in Richmond, Virginia. But nonetheless, you can see the beer pours with a full finger of head. I didn't pour it very aggressively at all, but it's a full finger of at the bottom it looks like straight like a cloudy, fluffy, pillowy head, but then at the very top looks very, very soapy, very bubble bathish. Um, as is true with most Trillium beers, looks like absolute juice. Um, looks like a little bit like Tang, but they didn't put enough Tang in the water to make it fully orange. So it's like a little bit of weak Tang, but it's still a beautiful glass. You can see it looks like bright and early. It doesn't look like orange juice. It looks like orange drink. So nonetheless, it looks beautiful. So let me put my nose in it so I can see how it smells. So as you would expect, if you know Galaxy hops, Galaxy brings it with the whole pineapple, the whole mango melon type deal. Um, you get that for sure. That's to be expected. It's dry hopped with Galaxy hop. So, the Galaxy hop contribution of this is going to be first and foremost aroma and maybe a little bit of flavor, but first and foremost aroma. And it's like it's not just like plain old pineapple. It's like bright pineapple. This bottle was bottled on May 10th, so it's a little bit over a month old, but nonetheless, the aroma still jumps out of this glass. When I was holding it up to tell you guys, show you what it looked like, I was getting the aroma off of the glass. So, I mean, you know, this is obviously not one of those Northeast or New England IPAs or pale ales that falls off quickly. Obviously, it can go for at least a month. So, yeah, none like I said, almost like candied pineapples more than anything else. You get mangoes in there, woven in nicely with the pineapple, so it plays very well together. Yeah, that smells great. Let me go ahead and taste this. I can tell you guys what it tastes like. Cheers. Oh my goodness. So, like I said, obviously at 6.6%, you can expect a crazy amount of drinkability, and your expectations would be met. This beer is crazy drinkable. Um, Little bit of prickly carbonation right on the front of your tongue, but then after that it goes down crazy smooth. It's on the thin side of medium bodied. It's not thin. It's on the thin side of medium. But I mean I think that's to be expected in this style. It's not a double IPA. It's not an IPA. It's a pale ale, right? It's meant to be drinkable, and like I said, 6.6%. That's to be expected. Um, yeah, man, this would be so good if you're sitting outside on your deck or your patio or your yard or whatever with a bunch of friends, and you know what I'm saying, let's say you had a couple of beers earlier in the day and you want something you can just kind of chill out and sip on. This beer is going to be exactly what you want. It's not it's not punching you in the face with flavor, but you're getting tons of aroma on the beer. It's well made. It has that, that quintessential um, Trillium minimal malt profile. I think, as is the case with a lot of these uh, Northeast or New England IPAs and pale ales, there's little focus put on bittering hops. That's not the intention of the show here. The intention is to focus on hop flavors and hop aromas, and that's exactly what I get here. I mean, there's bitterness there. You can't miss it. It's nature to the style. But more than anything, you get inundated with hop flavors and hop aromas where the malt characteristic and I think the Trillium malt characteristic is kind of consistent through a lot of their beers. The malt characteristic is just there enough to support the hops, to give the hops a little bit of a backbone to shine on, and I think that they do a wonderful job with that. They did a wonderful job with that in this beer in particular. Yeah, and you can see, I mean, look at the lacing on this glass. I mean, even at freaking 6.6%, it's still, you know what I'm saying, it's the lacing's there, it's holding on to the side of the glass, presents beautifully. The head dissipates rather quickly, but it doesn't go away completely. It stays around to about I don't know, let's call it a quarter to a half finger of head. Doesn't go anywhere, and that's beautiful. That's what you want when you're drinking this beer. You know what I'm saying, throughout the duration of the glass. It looks beautiful, and part of how you enjoy the beer is how the beer looks to you. This beer looks good the entire time. So yeah, I'd never turn this down. As far as a rating goes, um, one of the better pale ales that I've had. Pale ales are whenever I go to a new brewery, the beer that I judge them by is their pale ale. Um, Everybody has to have a killer IPA. I mean, for the most part, if you're going to survive as a brewery today, right? You gotta have a good IPA. That's going to be one of your money makers. But as a testament to your brewing acumen, in my opinion, it's about how you brew your pale ale. And if I had never had a Trillium beer before and I walked into the brewery and I ordered this Galaxy Dry Hop 4 Point Pale Ale and I tasted this, my first impression was going to be like, these guys are killing it already because they not only did they brew a superb pale ale, but they kind of put their own spin on it and they dry hopped it to make the aroma pop even more than what you would normally get in a pale ale. So going back to the rating, as far as the rating goes, a solid 4 CBN caps for the Galaxy Dry Hop 4 Point Pale Ale, just because it's their spin on it. They don't necessarily adhere to the traditional BJCP definition of what a pale ale is. They decided that, you know what I'm saying, we bucked the trend in making these New England IPAs, so we're also going to take the same take and buck the trend on the pale ale. So there you have it, folks. Galaxy Dry Hop 4 Point, solid 4 CBN caps from Craft Beer Nation. So remember, folks, click the like button below, comment, subscribe to our page. We love new subscribers. Interact with us. We'll get back to you. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, peace.